ranking every single Universal Champion in WWE history in 5 minutes. Let's get it. Wait, there's only ever been 8 Universal Champions? This belt is actually garbage. Number 8, Finn Balor. This may be the biggest what if in WWE history. The man today is basically a clown in WWE's eyes since he wins a match every year. He wins one match a year. But in 2016, Finn Balor might have damn well been the biggest thing to happen to WWE since, well, old Johnny Boy. Balor, who was a big star in NXT as the face of the brand, jumped quickly to the main roster, and in around 2 months, he had clean victories over Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, becoming the first ever Universal Champion. Problem is that he got injured that match and relinquished the title the next day. Shoot. Number 7, Goldberg. Now, if I'm thinking about the worst title changes in WWE history, people like Jack Swagger or Jinder Mahal come to mind. But in reality, my least favorite and second least favorite title changes are both from Goldberg. You know, he's lucky Finn Balor was only champion for a couple hours because he deserves to be at the bottom. In the mid-2010s, WWE had a fascination with utilizing Goldberg in 30-second matches anytime they could. And why is that? Well, because he couldn't wrestle any longer than that. And my word, is he a part of some of the worst matches in wrestling history. I get it, I used to love Goldberg, the entrance, the power, the psychotic faces he would make. But holy hell, watching this man wrestle in his 50s is harder than running 4 marathons straight. And I don't even know how that works, because I can't even run 3 miles, but you get the point. Number 6, Braun Strowman. Look, I'll be honest, Braun's title reign was not that interesting. But again, he was technically a placeholder because Roman Reigns was supposed to win the title at WrestleMania 36, but of course had the leukemia issues. However, the feud did get kind of interesting when Bray Wyatt showed up. The two of them, of course, have major history together, but also something important is that they were a part of one of the most important matches in WWE history. Now, whether that has to do with Braun Strowman or not is one thing, but of course it was when Roman Reigns returned from his leukemia issues and turned heel. This changed the WWE forever. Now, of course, that doesn't have to do much with Braun, but I will say I will give him bonus points for taking the title off Goldberg. Thank you. Number 5, Seth Rollins. Now, Seth held the title twice, but in my opinion, the reigns were just not that interesting. There was early promise at the Raw after WrestleMania when he won the title when Kofi came out and said, let's do a winner-take-all match. That ended up in a DQ, so that was kind of disappointing. But the main problem here is that he fought Baron Corbin 14 times for the title and won all of them. Now, I appreciate a man that works hard and, gets his matches in, but 14? I mean, this is insanity. Yeah, most of them were live events, but still, like, dude, there's other people on the roster. Anyways, 2019 WWE was a hard time to watch, so I don't really blame him. But I will say, I did like when Baron Corbin hit Becky Lynch with the End of Days. That was illegal. And the second reign was very short, but it also included this match, and I'll leave it at that. Number 4, Bray Wyatt. Now, I think people get the wrong idea whenever they talk about Bray Wyatt and the Universal title. Of course, things like the previously mentioned Seth Rollins match and getting buried by Goldberg immediately, but I genuinely think that Bray Wyatt added something to this title that we'd never seen before, and that was mystery. You never knew what was going to happen when Bray Wyatt entered a match. Sure, a lot of the ideas were horrible, I will give you that. And to be honest, I don't really like the idea of no-selling everything. I know that he's like a mystical character, but Jesus, this guy would just wake up from everything like nothing even happened. Even though I have gone over all the negatives, I still think Bray Wyatt was way ahead of his time. This guy changed the WWE forever. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Now, it's not that I think Kevin Owens was a top 3 champion for this title, it's just there was no competition. This title's history is so bad. When Kevin Owens won this title, however, it was insanity. I couldn't believe it. His facial expressions and reactions to everything he did in this run was incredible. But I will say some of these matches were a bit lackluster because of the whole situation with Chris Jericho. Now, a lot of people love the stuff with Jericho, but in my opinion, it made KO look kind of weak. Of course, it may have been a bit unrealistic for him to cleanly beat guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns every single week, but if Chris Jericho is helping you win every week, it makes you look a little weak, I don't know. And then he got squashed by Goldberg. Lovely. Number 2, Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock actually had some decent matches in his run as champion. A great match against Samoa Joe, an even better match against Finn Balor, and actually I kind of enjoyed his match against Goldberg. Now, yes, the only problem here is that Brock basically never showed up ever. If you enjoy a champion who defends his title, you would not like Brock Lesnar. However, this did mean anytime he wrestled, it was pretty interesting and fun because, I don't know, I kind of forgot he existed half of his run, but still, it was decent. And at number 1, Roman Reigns. In my opinion, the greatest championship reign in WWE history. His second reign with the title lasted 1,316 days, with some of the greatest storytelling in television history. It was one of the best heel turns in history, the best faction in history, cementing himself as one of the GOATs.